Maayong gabi sa tanan. Good evening to everyone. So we welcome everyone from the Let's Go mission to this dinner, a Thanksgiving dinner as you end your mission in the Visayas, the medical mission to help our less fortunate brothers and sisters, especially in Batolete. So we are so happy that you have this activity to help us, to help our uh, those in Leyte, in Bato Leyte, for your mission to help in their healthcare, in the care for their health of the less fortunate brothers and sisters. So we would like to. So I am Agripina, your host for tonight. So we would be giving you, I are offering you our Heritage Trail adventure. It's usually 2 to 3 hours, but tonight we will fast track our presentation of the history of Cebu for just 20 minutes, and also with the activities. It usually takes 2 hours with all the activities, but because uh, our priority is your dinner, and this is just introduction to dinner. So we would like to maybe show them. So we would like to ask also our leader of the group, the medical mission, the team that helped that had 7 days. So will you tell us about your activity at in Batolete? So may we have Tris? So there's a microphone there.
You want me to say what we did?
Yes, yes. Yes.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I'm Dr. Trish Burgess,
Yes.
and we have been here. Global Health Outreach is our ministry, and we've been here for a week and a half running a general medical clinic on the island of Batu and taking care of many patients. We saw actually well over 2,000 patients and administer to them by giving them medicine for free and vitamins. But we also did a foot washing area where we were able to give flip flops away. We trained some people in public health so they can continue to care for their community. And we gave many eyeglasses, both reading and distance glasses for people, and water filters. We distributed 30 water filters to poor areas so that they can have access to clean water. It was a privilege and a pleasure to be here taking care of the Filipinos.
Daghang salamat. Thank you very much, Tris. And then maybe ask each one to introduce his or her name and what's your occupation, like what healthcare professional are you? So maybe give the microphone. Yeah.
Is it ready? I'm Dr. Trish Burgess, and I'm an emergency medicine physician.
Yes. Thank you.
My name is Greg Hellworth. I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
Yes. Thank you.
My name is Larry Thurston. I'm not a medical person. I am an accountant with Dell Technologies.
Thank you.
My name is Wylan Worley, and I'm a student.
Yes. Thank you. And so we're happy that students are also following your footsteps in helping our less privileged brothers and sisters here in the Visayas. Yes.
Hello. My name is Roy Chuli, and I worked in the eyeglass clinic.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm Joan, and I also worked with eyeglasses.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Donna Simmons, and I'm a pharmacist.
Yes. Thank you.
And I am Linda, and I am not a registered nurse.
Yes. Thank you. At the back.
My name is Carrie Relaford, and I am a physician assistant.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amara Manning, and I am a nurse.
Yes. Thank you.
My name is John Verway. I am a farmer.
Yes, thank you. So I know that I have learned before we started that you come from the different states in the United States, and also there also someone from Canada. So this is from all over the United States. Thank you very much. So we're so happy of your efforts to help us and to cooperate and to gather together and to be united in this very honorable and very admirable mission of yours to help our less privileged brothers and sisters. So we would like to introduce to you Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. So Palmgrass is the only heritage hotel in Cebu. And so our mission is for the for the Cebuanos, for the Visayans, for the Filipinos, and even our foreign tourists to know the history of Cebu, to know the story of Cebu, the story of the Visayas, the story of our country, for us to be inspired by what our heroes did, and for the children, the youth, to be inspired and to learn that we can do so much if we emulate the values of our heroes. So we would like to show you first this video poem that we created about Palmgrass, love and heroes. So, and after this, we would discuss the history of Cebu in 10 minutes from 1521 to 1898. So this is a poem that we wrote, Love and Heroes.
They say looks can be deceiving. At first glance, I thought you were not much to look at. All icing, no cake, all steam, not much brew. But the night air sings of fulfilling ancient dreams. The moon whispers of tenderness for the smallest of them, for the unheard, the unseen. And as the sun breaks through our heroes' memories, your blinding smile hits my heart, like the warrior's blade, like Lapu-Lapu's spear. But the far seas beckon you. The memories on these walls try to soothe the pain of parting. I seek for your warmth, but only these sheets comfort me. My tears are salt water flowing to bridge the seas and islands that divide us. The stars listen to my sighs as I look for you in the skies. And now you're here. Our love blazes like the fire of our heroes' revolution. Our hearts entwined is such sweet victory, incomparable, like the journey of our people, like the richness of our culture.
Daghang salamat for that video. So, that video symbolizes our journey. Like we feature the different parts of the hotel, but then it's actually a love story. Like we have in mind when we wrote that poem, because written before the pandemic, and at that time our main guests were those who go out of the country to look for better life, better jobs abroad, and then of course we knew that their loved ones would be waiting for them. So we actually compared it like um, they were far away, but then they are now united. So it's just like how we retrace our roots in the past. Like the children, the youth here do not know our history. We are disconnected from our past. Like they are more the more knowledgeable of foreign culture, like Western culture. So we try our best to reconnect them, to retrace our roots. So that's it's a love story. We try our best to reconnect our people to our past. So that's what we do here at Palmgrass. So now we would now like to share with you our story in Cebu. So the written history of Cebu started with the chronicles of the chronicler of the expedition of Ferdinand Magellan. So that's in 1521. In 2021, we celebrated the 500 years of the first circumnavigation of the world. So, of course, Magellan led that expedition. So they arrived in Cebu on April 7, 1521. So they first went to Samar, to Leyte. So before they came here. So it's just like your journey. You went to Leyte and you also came to Cebu. So they were so hungry, and then in Leyte, in Limasawa, in Humunhon, they were fed by the natives. And then when they came here, the people will already knew that they are coming. So, but then Magellan were asking for tribute. They were asking for taxes, and the natives were used to asking tribute or taxes from the foreigners who would come to trade, because Cebu at the time was already a center of trade in Southeast Asia. So they were so surprised. Why is it that Magellan now is asking taxes from them? When in the past, it is that the traders were the ones who would give taxes. They would give tribute to pay to trade. And now Magellan, the Spaniards, are now asking for tribute. And then they were also telling them that we want to baptize you. And then they were saying that we are already good men, so we don't need a new religion. And then, so Magellan was telling the Raha Humabon of Cebu. So Raha Humabon, the natives at that time were dressed like in bahag, in loincloth. So so this is Bitko from the Talisay City College. Pwede na to ma-show? Ma-show na to siya. So si Bitko has tattoos and also bahag. So the men were wearing bahag. Raha Humabon had a fire tattoo on his face because tattoos were actually a symbol of bravery. If you have killed an enemy, you get a tattoo. So the more tattoos you have, that means the braver you are. So they were telling Humabon was told by Ferdinand Magellan that you tell them that if the king of Spain is so powerful that if they won't obey you, they could all be killed. And at that time, they were so clad in gold. So that's why I have this is a replica of the gold earrings, of pre-colonial gold earrings. So they had gold bracelets, gold. They had so much gold in the islands at the time. So Magellan, Pigafetta, they were saying that the Cebuanos, the Visayans were so fair in trading. Like they have weights to exchange the goods. So anyway, they were forced to be baptized. So on April 14, that's a week after they arrived in Cebu, they 800, or not really on that day, Raha Humabon and his wife, his principal wife, later baptized as Juana, became baptized. They were baptized, and then the wife of Humabon, Juana, asked for the Santo Niño, the Holy Child, the image of the Holy Child, to be given to her, because of course she wanted to put it in her anito. Anito is the deity at the time, so they revered the spirits. They thought that there were stewards of in nature. Like you cannot do anything against in nature without having a ritual. So the leaders at the time, the healers, were women. Only women and gays were spiritual leaders and healers. So no men. The men were warriors, or they could be leaders in the community, but they cannot be healers. And of course, later they were called witches. They were demonized, and the gays were demonized. At that time, women and gays, and they in their rituals, they sing, they dance, they it was so much fun. And so after that, so on April 27 in Mactan Island, so you already know about Lapu-Lapu, where you landed in Mactan, Mactan International Airport. So Mactan Island, it's an island in the Cebu Islands. Lapu-Lapu did not want to pay tribute. He did not want to be baptized. So Ferdinand Magellan told those in Cebu, the people of Rahumabon, that we will show them how mighty are our swords. They were only 60 men in the Spanish expedition that arrived here. And then when it was Lapu-Lapu who said, you come here at this time. So he timed it during low tide. So the ship of the Spaniards was so far away from the shore. Maybe show our audience while I'm talking. Horror for me. So that's why they were defeated. There were natives who were killed, but natives were killed. About 15 were killed, but also in that battle, Magellan was defeated. They had poisoned arrows. They didn't have guns. The Spaniards had cannons. They had guns and cannons. The natives only had poisoned bladed weapons, poisoned arrows and spears. So Magellan was killed during that time. So on May 1, so they went back to Cebu. The survivors of the Battle of Mactan went back to Cebu. And what happened on May 1? So on May 1, Raha Humabon invited the survivors of the Battle of Mactan to a feast and then massacred them. So, and also on that day, they hurriedly left Cebu, and they saw that the cross that they planted were shredded to bits. It was destroyed by the natives. So because the baptism that they had was more like a political action for them and not really a religious act, the baptism that they had. So that's the story of the 500 years ago in April to May 1521. So they were here for just 15 days. So, and they went back to Abdili 15, more than April 7 until May 1. So there were survivors also who were left here in Cebu and became slaves of the natives. So now we would take a break from the story of war and colonization. We would now like to show you and ask you to dance with us this dance of birds. So this is a traditional dance that originated in Leyte. So in our islands, the traditional dances are usually the dance that they imitate from birds and animals in the forest. So this is a dance called Tinikling, and Tikling is a bird in the fields. So we have CJ here who would show us, and then we would also ask you to learn this dance, Tinikling. Yes, so now we would like someone who wants to have a photo and to demonstrate. CJ will teach you how it's done. So they are dodging, the birds are dodging from the traps of the farmers. So it's tinikling. So sige, who wants to try? So one lang, slow motion, the slow version of it. So Tris is here. So yes, Tris is a fast learner of tinikling. Yes. Who else want to try? Yes. Yes. So who else wants to try? Sige na, you just try. So we have here. One, two, three. One, three. Yes. Pwede mo balik ka, CJ. Dili ka dito sa... Sige, next. So we have this student. Yes. Thank you. So who else would want to try to be a bird, dodging from the traps? Yes. Thank you very much. Next, who else would want to try to dance like the tickling? Come on, it's your last day. Last night in Cebu. You should be able to experience this. Yes. Yay! Congratulations for being a bird. And who else from this group? The early birds. The early birds. No one would want to try. The bamboo will not move. The bamboo will not move. So who else? Huh? Yes. Yay! Congratulations! So, it's the dance of birds, Tinikling. Dagang salamat to those who had the guts to have the physical activity education, physical education. It's a part of the PE class, physical education classes, also of the students in the Philippines. So Tinikling is usually referred to our one of the very popular dances in the Philippines. So we would now like to continue with our history conversations. So that was April 1521. So they went away. So it became the first circumnavigation of the world. But they said that Magellan was the first to circumnavigate because he was already here in Southeast Asia a few years before that to buy that. He bought that slave who became the interpreter when they came here in Reque de Malacca. So 44 years after, Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, the Spanish conquistador, came back. He led the expedition that came back to occupy again our island. So this was on April 27, 1565. It's the same date. The Battle of Mactan was April 27, and in April 27, 1565, 44 years after, the Spaniards came back. And what the natives did, Tupas, who was still 40 years old in the massacre that they did 44 years before, is now 70 years old. And they burned the granary, they burned the food supply so that the enemy will not have anything to eat. But the next day, on April 28, the kaplag, or the finding of the child, of the image of the child happened. So the image of the Santo Niño. So you have heard about the Sinulog, right? Sinulog is a feast of the Santo Niño. It's usually they found that the child that the wife of Humabon asked to be given to her during her baptism, they found it in an abandoned house in the city. So they learned, so later the Spaniards learned that the natives treated it as a deity, as an anito, or a like a god or a goddess or a deity. So they incorporated the child in their pantheon of beliefs. They were animists and they believed in the spirits of the ancestors, the spirits of nature, and they actually asked for it rain and other things. So the natives wanted to ransom it with gold. They wanted it to be returned to them because they said that image is ours since time immemorial. Of course, the Spaniards did not return it. And on May 15, today is May 17. So two days ago, in 1565, the Spaniards made the first procession of the Santo Niño from the ship to a makeshift chapel. So, and then the natives saw, they were so much in awe of their display of the procession because it was the first time to see a very solemn activity because the rituals were really very festive. So anyway, so on June 1, 1565, wala lagi ang April 23. Ano ang April 23? April 23, the Dagami Revolt. May 23. May 23 first. So they said, one of the historians would say that it was the procession became the reconciliation of the Cebuanos and the Spaniards, but it was a false reconciliation because the natives revolted against the presence of the Spaniards. So the Gami, also of the Mactan Island, which is now Cordova, they made an ambush against the troops of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and they cut off the head of the assistant of Miguel Lopez de Legazpi. They brought the head to the Gabi, which is now Cordoba, and they made a feast out of it because they had a belief that when you cut off the head, so you would really defeat them, and then if you get something from that body, then it would add to your power. So so that's the Dagami revolt. It lasted 2 years until he was found out, and he was also beheaded by the Spaniards 2 years after. And Legazpi put his head also on a pole. So the natives, what the natives did was, of course, the healers did this. They poisoned the Spaniards, and also they created artificial food scarcity. They had food expeditions all over the Visayas, and they could not find any food. That's why they had to go to Manila in 1569. So before that, on June 1, 1565, Legazpi hostage some 20 natives, and he asked for the chiefs to go to him, and they asked the chiefs to go to him and to pledge allegiance to Spain for the hostages to be set free. So there was a peace treaty that happened because of this hostage taking. So that's what happened. So they set up encomiendas. Later, they went to Panay in 1569. They went to Manila in 1571. So that's why Manila became already the capital of the colonial government. They were able to survive in Manila. What happened in the Visayas, where they were poisoned and they were starved, did not happen in Manila. So that's why Manila became the center of the colonial government. So they were able to erect pueblos, and they had this encomienda system. So, and then of course, Cebu became closed off to foreign trade until the 1860s, when its port opened already again to international trade. So we would like to show you this video. It's a song that we wrote, inspired by the love story of these revolutionaries in Cebu who fought against the Spaniards, the Spanish colonial rule in 1898. So this is Gugmang Gihandom. And then you would experience this Maglubok after this. How they used lubok also, they said, against the Spaniards in the Battle of Mactan.
Mga saata bituon sa langit, mikislap mitanak sa kangit-ngit, katamis taliwala sa kapait, mitunaw sa tik-ang nga kasing-kasing, nanumpada kung kuyog tang tuhan, gugmang gamhanan makahimo sa tanan, misata kung kitang duha kauban, malatas na to ang layong kadagatahan, mapatag ang habok na kabukiran, mausapang ng sa kalibutan, hangtod kano sa magtahop, kining akong dughan, ang akong kamot imong gihawiran, dungan na tong bag-o ng kalibutan, punon sa kahoy ang napuong lasan, pabulakon ang nalayang tanaman, misatan kung kitang duha kauban, malakas na to ang layong kadagatan, kabukiran, mausapang ng sa kalibutan, hangtod kanu sa Magtahop. Kining akong dughan, mibanos ang katugnaw, di maatos, at lamisalok sa imong paglakaw. Magulat ba ang tod sa hangtod, sa kahangturan? Misata kung kitang duha kauban, malatas na to ang layong karagatan. Mapatag ang habok nga kabukiran, mausapang ng sa kalibutan, hangtod kanu sa Magtahop. Kining akong daghan.
So, daghang salamat for that video. So, it's the depiction of the love story of the two heroes in Cebu who fought against the Spaniards until, of course, they won the victory against the Spaniards in December 24 of 1898. And it's the first Christmas in 333 years that the Cebuanos were finally free from Spanish colonial rule. So now, we would now like to invite you to learn about this traditional chore in the Visayas, in our islands, which is Maglubok. So this is alho. So may we show the one? Please show the so please show the alho. So this is the Lapu-Lapu, our warrior, was usually depicted to have with him an alho. But of course, the Chronicles of Pigafetta said that Magellan was hit by a spear and an arrow and was finished off by a, uh, a bladed weapon. So, but Lapu-Lapu is usually depicted to be having this alho. It's a pestle and a mortar and pestle. So, this is alho in Bisaya and kana siya is lusong mortar, that one. So, the rice, the palay with still the husk would be in it. You can also, and it would be the way to you pound the palay for the grain to be separated from the husk. So this si Vitka would be showing you how to do it. Yes. So that's the way to do it. So it's also a to strengthen, like it's just a workout also. It would strengthen your arms while doing it. So so you can have a picture and do that. And there are also actually ways to do it. Like three people would be doing that. And it's called akod, diba? Kanang duha ka buok mag-alho na may laing alho dito. So would someone want to try doing that? Yes. So your name is? Yes. Pwede mo bali ang camera? Yes. Oh, he's very good in doing it. It's so easy. Yes. Yes. It's so easy because it's already. So, have you taken the picture? Layo, ipalayo ko na kasi ibalhin na lang. Yeah. So next, who wants to have a picture with doing the traditional chore? Picture taking na lang na, photo ops, photo opportunity. Wala na? Yes, who wants to take a photo having doing the pounding of palay? Bisaya term for that is lubok, maglubok. Yes. So, okay. So who else would want to take a photo with the alho and the lusong maglubok? Yes. Show your very strong arms. Yes. 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 Okay, next. Oh, we've seen he's very strong. Aside from being strong in treating the patients, it's also very good in pounding. Right? So who else? So aside from pounding palay, we also have the blowing. After you pound it, you separate the grain from the husk by blowing it. So this is magtahop. So pwede na, di ako makita sa camera sika. Dito lang ka sa layo. Or kinahanglan sa banig, no? O, makuan? Sige, diha na lang. Yes. So you do that. So you manipulate the native. What's that? Bisa English nigo. So nigo. That the name of that is nigo. You use it to blow the husk, so that the grain would be separated, and you will now be able to cook rice. So in the rural areas, if you don't know how to do that, you cannot eat rice. So when there were no rice mill yet, so who wants to try? Yes. Yes. Yeah, so you should do it like a big movement of you show Bitcoin, you show ko again. So it's a big movement like, yes, you make the grains go up the air so that the wind would blow those husks. Yes. Yes. You're learning. Yes. Very good. But lots are wasted. So many rice. Thank you very much for trying. So maybe we would now thank you very much for joining our Heritage Adventure Trail. So because we ran out of time, so that's all for tonight. And so you can ask questions later, and we could already start the dinner. So thank you very much, and we can have photos also. Thank you very much for joining us, and we thank you for coming to Palmgrass, and we also pwede ma-show sila, pwede ma-show. And then we also are very happy. It is our pleasure, and we're so happy, we're so glad that you are helping us. So it's not true that foreigners are our enemies. You are our friends, and because you have the heart to help our less fortunate brothers and sisters, and we also are happy that you are learning our history and retracing our roots with us tonight. Daghang salamat og maayong gabi. Enjoy your night and dinner and your flight back to the US. Daghang salamat. So, nahuman na ta sa live. So,